A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. Yeah, I know I didn't review the second A Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Here's what I thought about it. I have mixed feelings of the second. I have mixed feelings. I feel very mid about the second A Nightmare on Elm Street movie. But the third film in the franchise, I think that Dream Warriors is one of the best Nightmare on Elm Street films, in this entire franchise. It's like one of the best. It's right up there with the very first Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I think it might be the only. I think it might be the only two. We'll see. There are still other films. But for now, A Nightmare on Elm Street and the original and A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. These two are like one of the best Elm Street films in the series. So going into this film, I I was watching this, after being let down with the second film, kinda. This movie, I felt like it was definitely a step up in the right direction from the second film, from the predecessor. It had a great soundtrack, most notably being the Doken's Dream Warriors, which plays during the credits of the film, or Dokken, whatever. The movie perfectly balances the horror elements of the last two movies of the franchise and the comedy of the sequels. A lot of personality. There are some, and we'll talk about those. We'll talk about the comedy and all of that later on in the list. It has a lot of personality and character development from each of the characters. Which, by the way, Nancy did not appear in the second film, and I was thinking, oh, when are we going to get her back? It's in here. She's returned. Heather, I keep mispronouncing. I don't want to mispronounce her last name like I did in my first review. But Heather, she is Nancy. She does an amazing. She does an amazing, extraordinary job as Nancy Thompson, who was formerly a girl being chased by Freddy Krueger every night, and now she's a mentor to most of the characters in this film, being aware of their problems and encounters with Freddy. And Nancy, I didn't know she was going to come back in this film. So that was a huge surprise when Nancy popped up. When Nancy showed up, I was completely surprised. I didn't look at the plot. I didn't look at the plot or the premise of the film. I just went straight into this film, and I was surprised. No thumbnails. None of the thumbnails spoiled it for me. But yeah, when Nancy showed up, I was completely surprised. And she went from, and now she's a psychiatrist. Now Nancy's a psychiatrist. I was like, what? It's always great seeing Nancy around. She is one of my favorite characters. Even though she dies at the end of the film, I was like, when Nancy died, I was screaming, like, no, because, like, alongside Freddy Krueger, I know this entire franchise is all about the antagonist, Freddy Krueger, but Nancy is, like, one of my favorite protagonists, his arch nemesis. And I just, when she died, I was bummed out. I was like so sad because I didn't cry, but I was very sad that she died. But yeah, and it's there are some very iconic and unforgettable quotes, such as "Welcome to prime time, bitch." That you remember that? You remember that? I mean, if you've seen this film, you should remember that. You might have remembered that. Maybe it's been a while, but like, oh my God, so many like iconic and memorable lines and quotes in this film that I will never forget. Like most movies in the franchise, Robert Englund delivers yet again a great performance as Freddy Krueger. There is also an original and unique plot that feels like a game changer to the franchise. I mean, yeah, if you think about it, like the Dream Warriors, this is something new that I've, having like a group, because this was not presence, because this idea wasn't, hadn't popped up in the last two movies, until now. Having a group of, just ordinary kids, people, just, using their abilities, using their gift, not like, they're not X-Men, not like actual gifts, like realistic gifts. And then using it against Freddy Krueger, using their gifts like in the dream world, in their dreams, using their powers, and having their powers manifest into like something supernatural or something powerful against Freddy. I thought it was amazing. I like that. I will I will say the wizard's master scene, that one kid, the wizard master scene was hilarious, even though, yeah, I will admit, it can come off as a little bit corny, but I don't care. I loved it. I thought it was really hilarious and funny. Even though that kid died, Freddy stabbed him. But anyway, yeah. I mean, I only have two, well, not really two, maybe like one. Like the CGI, yeah, I mean, yeah, it can be sometimes awkward and off sometimes, but that's pretty much it. The film also ignores events from the second film, Freddy's, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. But for me, I don't feel, but for me, I think that's not much of a big deal because like I said, I had mixed feelings. I feel very mid with the second film, so it really didn't bother me. I didn't really care. It didn't really bother me if they ignored it, they ignored it. But yeah, if you've seen this film, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors, let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. Thank you so much for taking the time to listening to my review. Please like, comment, subscribe, do all of that great stuff, ladies and gentlemen. I will see all of you lovely people really soon.